What's up, Popheads? Welcome back to another episode of the Jalapeno Paupers podcast. Today, we are talking about how to get better at PDH, and specifically, how to get better at threat assessment. So we're going to talk about that with some awesome guests, some smart people. Lobert and Ginger are here. They're sweaty, they're tryhards. We tricked them into being here so that they could teach Bernie and I on how to get better at Pauper Commander. And then we'd figure we'd record it so we could share it with you guys. Okay, before we jump into that, we want to say thank you for liking, subscribing, supporting us. We couldn't do it without you. Consider joining our Patreon. There's lots of cool stuff over there. You get lots of benefits. Join our Discord. Come hang out with us, chat about decks. Get some spell table games over there too. That's been awesome. And we want to say thank you, especially to Mana Pool. What is Mana Pool? Thanks, Miles. I'll take it from here. Mana Pool is a fast-growing marketplace for Magic the Gathering that makes buying and selling cards easy. Their optimizer helps you get the best value when buying cards, and their team is focused on making a great experience for buyers and sellers alike. Right now, we do have some promo codes if you sign up with us. Check out our link in our description. If it's your first sign up, you'll get 500 extra mana, which is about $5 towards your next purchase. If you've already signed up, use our affiliate link. It'll show that the Jalapenos sent you. Check out Mana Pool.
This video is sponsored by Card Conduit, the easiest way to sell your Magic the Gathering cards. If you've got a stack of singles collecting dust, head to Card Conduit to use their price check and collection estimator tools to see exactly what you could get for your cards. Then you can register a shipment and choose from 3 flexible service types to give you the best balance of effort and value. Whether you just want to pack and ship or you want to do a bit of prep to save on fees, they've got you covered. Once they process your shipment, you'll get a full report and fast payment via direct deposit, PayPal, Zelle, or check. It's painless, quick, and the easiest experience you've ever had selling your Magic cards. I've used them myself, and they are absolutely fantastic. For the first half of February, before Valentine's Day, use our code SPICY, S-P-I-C-Y, to save 20% on fees. Thank you, Card Conduit.
Okay, let's jump in. How would you define threat assessment / why does it matter?
I'm curious how you answer this.
I mean, the simplest answer is just like, what do you need to kill and when do you need to kill it?
Okay. Seems simple, but it's very complex. Is it not?
Does anyone, do you agree or disagree with that?
I mean, like, so threat assessment, I started to have a conversation with Clay on the cpdh.guide YouTube, and that video is up over there, where we started talking about threat assessment, and I had wanted to talk about in terms of like what types of interaction to be running to interact with certain phenomenon on board.
Right.
But one of the things that like happened in that conversation is threat assessment is just like perceiving what's going on. And there's lots of ways to perceive, but also the lens through which you're perceiving is based on like, what is my game plan? When am I trying to win? When am I trying to do stuff? It's complex enough that I think, like, it's called threat assessment, but I'm never sitting at the table and thinking, oh, that's a threat. That's just never the way that I'm viewing it. Like, usually if I'm at a table and I see that player B is a problem, I know that person's a problem, and I take a look at what I can do about it. But also, I know someone who, if you play a massive creature, they'll try to kill it. They don't care where it's swinging. They're just like, oh, it's a big thing. I'm scared. So it's like,
I think that's where it starts.
Yeah.
I want to I know this is probably maybe this
like
is semantics, but no. I think it's good. You say I see player B, they're a problem.
Yeah.
How is, and I would say I see player B, they're a threat. What are you saying is a problem? What's problem versus threat? What's the difference to you?
So the only thing that I perceive as a problem or a threat, I'll use those terms interchangeably, is I lose. That's the only thing that for me warrants my attention. And so oftentimes,
if that thing, whatever,
is going to kill me.
Yes.
Or win the game, therefore.
And that makes it a threat?
Yeah.
If that thing's going to kill me, that's a threat.
Yeah. And like
at that moment, or at some point down the line, if not interacted with somehow?
I don't, my personal play style, the way that I look at games is I don't say, well, this could be a problem, so I'll handle it. Because if I use my solutions on a
Right.
lot of cookies, then
yeah.
I don't have my solutions ready for the actual things that are going to kill me right now.
But you have assessed it as a threat assessment for the future, right? So that's I think that's part of threat assessment is being able to recognize those things, because otherwise there's a lot of people, I know there's a lot of people, maybe they're new to Magic or whatever, they don't see things that, like, I know I play with you two a lot, with you, the games I played with you, I know you see things differently than I do, and you are able to perceive more threatening things that I might not recognize as threats. As potential problems or whatever
enough
you want
ahead,
to
right?
call it.
Seeing
Yeah.
Golem Foundry as like
Yes.
a mana discounter,
Yeah.
you wouldn't recognize that unless you have someone let you know. Oh, well, you get one extra.
Right.
You get enough mana to be neutral plus one extra counter per cycle.
So
this is a
when
mana
you
discount.
said, you started this off by saying, what did you say? I don't see threats,
Yeah.
but I think everything you've just been saying is you see threats very well.
But maybe not immediate, not threats that need to be dealt with immediately.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
also like threat for me. A threat means it's, like a guy at a gun store who's selling guns isn't a threat. But if someone picks one up and loads it and points at it, like that's a very different circumstance. And so, like if I see a creature and I know that creature is big, like a high bay, it is big. It could get bigger. I am not concerned until the weapon is pointed at me, until
Yes.
it's
Okay.
attacking
Yes.
me physically.
Yeah.
And then I care. And even then, I usually don't care too much. So like high bay, I think we played a game off camera.
Yep.
You hit me for 9 or something. I was like, sure, I'll eat it.
Yeah.
Because that didn't lose me the game. And I think there's
Yes.
a big difference between like, do I need to do something because I'm going to lose the game here? Or can I just eat this damage and like figure something out on my future turns?
Yeah.
And like, so if you hit me with high bay once, now I need to be aware for the next time because you'll get me on commander damage. So like, it'll change my perception over time.
Yeah.
But generally, like for me, a threat is something that literally threatens me, my win, and like my chance to continue playing the game. And I think so. If I go too far, if I telescope too far, and like on turn 3, I'm like, oh well, this could be a problem, and I want to handle it then. Again, that's not a threat. Also, it might be attacking someone else.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
But identifying things not as threats is still threat assessment, and that's important to do.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that the difference is, I think you're wrong in your definition.
That might
I
be-
think
I
you're
think that
right
might
in
be
your
what
ideas and sentiment.
Yes.
I think everything your opponents do is a threat. Whether or not you say that it's over the line of requiring a removal spell,
Or like some response.
is the difference.
You can still assess. You need to be assessing things that are going on, right?
Yeah.
You need to be evaluating the board state, trying to predict what could happen, and that is threat assessment. That's doing the thing that we. I think what you're
define,
talking
like,
about.
Anything an opponent does as threat assessment, anything an opponent does as a threat.
It was at least assessed,
Yeah.
even if it was
Exactly,
given
yeah.
a 0.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, because if you just
Yes.
tune out and do something else, then you obviously don't know what's going on the board. You need to know what's going on the board. And also, like, being willing. So we have played a game where you were amassing resources and Miles was starting to put himself into, like, a very strong winning position if he had the right cards in hand. And, like, in that moment, I knew what I was seeing. I knew that you were seeing it. So I was like, it's not a problem because he's going to get smacked in the face for a huge amount of damage. And so in that moment, I'm not scared of Miles. And I was more thinking about, what are you going to be doing? And how do I figure out how to handle you in several turns? And I couldn't get an answer.
And
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of stuff in my hand.
Yeah.
Get this in this hand here. Yes. Okay. You said something about just a second ago that I want to touch on, and I wanted to touch on this before we started this.
Yeah.
You said if I'm just like aloof to things, then I'm not like evaluating. And I want to say off the bat, if that's how you want to play Magic, want to play Pauper Commander, that's a totally fine way to play as long as everybody, your group is like talked about it, and that's what you do. You just want to play completely casual, just sit down, have drinks, have food, mess around, play Commander. That's totally fine.
And you're sort of only worried about your board, and you're not.
Yes. Yeah.
Just know that there's consequences that come with that. Like,
Yeah.
I've played with people who they sort of check out and they're socializing.
I was playing
and then
the-
they're upset when they are
Yes,
absolute. It's
huge part of it.
You can't.
like play
Your
that way.
expectations need to
Just know
align
that-
with the experience that you're going to have.
I was playing the other day, and I was sleeving the deck in the middle of
Yes.
Yeah, you were.
other people's turns, and that was fine. And I was fine with that because I was like, I'm gonna do my thing, and then I'm just gonna sleeve a deck, and then
Yeah.
whatever happens,
Yeah.
happens. I don't care.
But so we're coming. I think the goal, hopefully, tell me if you all agree or not, of what we want this conversation to be, is if you are interested in improving ways of evaluating board states and assessing potential threats, then that's the conversation we want to have. To any degree, you both play at a high competitive environment where that is super critical to winning a game. Like, if you're not doing it well and accurately, you're going to make mistakes, which cause you to lose life, lose resources, whatever happens. You have a lower probability of winning the game. So you got to be good at doing this at a high level.
Yeah.
For casual, it helps to be good at this. You can have a more enjoyable experience when you're learning these things, when you're properly evaluating, and you can become a better player. And so I think it's important to have for any level, especially for new players too. A lot of these things are complicated. There's so many things that happen in a game of Magic that it can be overwhelming at times. But simplifying things, we want to talk about how to simplify things to be able to do it better. So that's the conversation I think we want to have here.
And another kind of jumping off that, why it matters, why it's important in the less than competitive. Like, there can be feel bads if you interact with something and someone, why did you do that? If you don't have a good reason, like if your threat assessment was off, I mean, people like to throw that around or whatever, but I think if you do something, you should have a good reason of why you did it, be able to back it up. I think it helps people feel less bad when you remove their thing, right? If you're like, I perceive that as a threat, and that's totally fine. Like, if the other player doesn't agree, if the table doesn't agree, but you know something, and we'll share examples of some decisions. Lawbert and I were actually playing in a game, and I made a decision because I had additional knowledge, and so I made a threat assessment based on this is more threatening to me, and even though it doesn't look like that on the table. So anyways, the point is, have a good reason why you're doing this thing, and jumping on. I think beginners will see, a 10-10 trampler and be like, that's a threat. Immediately remove it, and the player's like, what the heck? I wasn't even going to attack you. This guy's about to win. I was going to attack him. And you're like, oh. So, yes, it's a threat, but is it a threat to you right now? Is it going to kill you right now? So, I mean, there's nuance, and we can talk about that. But have a good reason if you're going to interact. Be able to back it up and explain why, or have a good reason.
I will add to that of like having a good reason is probably the most skill testing part of the game, especially as you get into competitive, because those decks have been selected for being deceitful. Of the threat doesn't look like a threat, the threat's in the hand,
Yes.
it's invisible,
Yes.
and then all of a sudden you lose. Because that perception, they're trying to game threat assessment.
Yes.
They're trying to get you to kill someone else and then come in with something you weren't expecting, and just the game is over. And so the way that you combat that is just study, is just knowing what all of the decks do and how they work and the important parts of them to target and throw a wrench in their
Experience, yep, right. That's hard to teach in this, right? Of course, but yes, experience, study. Right, and specifically like combo decks, right? Like the threat isn't on the board, right? It's unknown, and there can be other decks like that as well aside from combo, but sometimes it's hard to tell if you're not familiar, right?
It's going to help you save, like, oh, I don't have to spend my removal spell, and the person with a little less experience deals with it, and you're like, oh, cool. Well, now I didn't have to because I knew when I could time my spell,
right?
And now I have this removal spell in hand for the next thing.
Yep.
Which is that it's a really important topic.
Totally. Okay. So let's start off with like when do you start threat assessment?
You have here like pre-game, mid-game, or stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think your threat assessment starts like when you're on Moxfield, when you're building the deck.
Building your deck.
Building your deck. And what I mean by that is, and tell me if you disagree, if I'm going into a meta, so if I'm going, like I run a league and I run lighter, less intense decks because not everyone there is into combo, and I'm there to facilitate community first and foremost. So I'm not going to try and run something that's just going to squash people. Like I want to play games that are going to be fun and interactive for them and for me. So, but like how I understand that meta, what those games are going to look like is going to be different than showing up to Sanctuary. So as I'm building my deck, I'm already starting to think about what am I going to face? What proportion of my deck do I want to dedicate to hindering other people's game plans versus accelerating my own? And so having like, this is a little bit of an aside, but I think one of the most important things to having a winning position in any game is having a solid plan going in, because the cards you select reflect how refined that plan is.
Your deck only does things that the cards in them say they do.
Yeah.
I didn't put any life gain in there. Why? I hope I draw some life gain.
Yeah. You're not. Your deck isn't going to do that.
Yeah.
And like with a plan, I think your level of specificity with a plan. So one thing that we could say is true of combo decks is often they have lines. It's like these 2 cards interact with this card, interact with these 3 cards. So it's very specific. Super specific. And this is one of the values of a combo deck is their plan is so specific, and because it's specific and sometimes fast, they will run very little interaction, favoring protective spells over interactive spells, knowing that they're probably going to get to their specific win con before you will, or at least they're going to aim to. But you can also be very specific with the way you build like an aggro deck or a different style of deck or a control deck. I have we talked about Wandertail Mentor, where my commander plays 1 role in the deck, and it like as long as it's out on turn 2 and it can make mana on turn 3, it can get killed after that. I do not care, because it plays 1 super specific role, which is transitioning through to turn 3, where I can use 4 mana, get a +2 mana resource on the board. And then it's just a 6-drop, 7-drop, 6-drop, 7-drop every turn after that. And like that's a very specific plan. And I'll mulligan down to 4 to get 3 lands and a 2-mana mana rock or a 2-mana enchantment, because that will still win me the game. And what that means is turn 1, I'm playing a land. Turn 2, land, commander. Turn 3, land. That's 4 mana total. Get a mana rock. And now I have 6 to 7 mana available on turn 4. And I can just drop, 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 and push, push, push. Like that's a very specific game plan. And I can mulligan really hard because I know exactly what my plan is. And is that the best plan? No. It's like it's fun. It wins games sometimes, but like again, it's probably not going to be a tournament winning type style deck. So the level of specificity you bring to your planning and your conception of what your deck does, the better it's going to do. Because first of all, like starting to look at the mid-game idea, if you have a specific plan, you can start to mulligan for a specific outcome. If you're just like, well, I'm going to get like a couple of lands and see if I can play things, that's like basic. You need to have lands to play the game. But if you're then with a combo deck and you know that they have potentials to win on turn 3 to 5, then you need to be looking at, well, how do I get interaction for that? Or if you're the one trying to win from turn 3 to 5, how are you mulliganing to present that like win condition for yourself? And this is like the mulligan, I think, is the most important part of the game. If you are giving yourself a bad start, it's going to be very difficult to come back to. And if someone doesn't, like in a competitive environment, someone might just win before you can ever get anything meaningful. In a slower environment, like you still might not get the things you want, and you might not be able to like proceed in the game in a way that you feel is good. And this is why we don't keep 7 land hands, right? Because we know automatically, well, I can't really do anything with this. I'm not preparing, I'm not supporting myself, I'm not accelerating. So we know like instinctively that we need to have a more and more refined plan, but like the sharper and sharper and sharper that becomes, the sharper your gameplay will be. So if you have a specific deck like High Bay, and you know that you want to have like sort of counter bounces, or you know that you want to be drawing cards off of your sack triggers, like mulliganing for the specific effects that you know help you win games is really helpful. That's been a long spiel.
Do the decks at the table ever change your mulligan, or is it just, hey, I'm going to focus on my game plan?
Keep that question. I want to go back a step just for real quick,
Yeah.
just to kind of summarize the deck building part of threat assessment.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think from what you've been saying, in my experience, what I think about, and we did a whole episode on deck building, so we're not going to go too much into it. I would just want to summarize it in either two things here. When I'm building a deck, Hey-Buy, for example, what I first try to do is I want the deck to synergize around the commander. I want it to do what the commander wants it to do, so I'm going to build it that way. Then I think, okay, what are the weaknesses? What are the things that would stop my deck from doing that? And do I need to implement strategies to stop people from interacting in those ways? Try to slow them down? Or do I have that option. I plan and build in protections, or I'm okay with these things having these weaknesses.
Yeah.
I don't want to lower other card type counts to bring in interaction to stop it. I want to go harder into it, and they have to deal with more things. So that you have options in your deck building process to assess what potential threats are to this deck, to
What's
this
your
commander.
meta?
Yeah. And you either build it in or you go a different way. There's things that you can do in the deck building process to plan on the potential threats that you will see.
Yeah. I do. My personal take on this, I don't know that most people would agree, but that's fine. I don't love the idea of mid-range. I've heard people use mid-range in different concepts or in different contexts, because in CEDH, like a mid-range deck is still a very combo-heavy deck, but it's just like it's all about timing of like what turn in the game are you trying to combo off. Whereas
kind of meaningless now.
Like mid-range is a very difficult thing to define. So I'm going to go back to like 60 card Magic, where the term mid-range evolved from you had aggro, you had control, and then you had this weird thing in the middle, and it was kind of like a mix of both. I do think that Pauper Commander decks that are trying to do a little bit of controlling and a little bit of like aggro putting pressure, that's not the style of deck I like to build. I want to build something like if I'm building a deck that wants to deal damage and it's going to run you over, I'm going to devote all of the resources in the deck to running you over. And like if you want to control it, that's fine. Right. I'm not going to worry about it. And if I don't run you over and you have, the fogs and whatever, then that's like I'm just happy with that being my fail case.
You're willing to accept those weaknesses.
Yeah,
say that's fine.
I prefer to go all in on like a very specific idea. So I'll be all aggro. I'll be all control. I try to stay away from mid range just because for me, most decks that I see that fall within a mid range space tend to lack focus. This is not universally true, but they tend to lack focus. And like I said, if
I've joked that mid-range means a deck without a win con.
Yeah, like a similar kind of concept. Like I'll get there eventually, and I don't know exactly how.
Right.
And I think in casual, that's completely viable.
Yeah, I think that's acceptable.
Most of my decks don't have win cons.
Yeah.
And I still love playing them, and I have a blast playing in tables.
And they can still win, but
Yes,
it's a variety of ways. It's not, it's not as defined or as specific.
Yes, but I do agree. Once you're playing in a meta where there's completely known deck lists out there that you should be studying, you should be knowing all the lines of all these decks to help you know when to interact. That's for sure a different thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
So I wanted to jump in about
Do it.
the pregame.
I've been talking too much. Let's go.
So, I mean, I do think that it starts before the game in deck building. I'm not going to go too much into it, but like just make sure that the answers you bring line up with what threatens your deck. If you're a graveyard-focused deck, bring an Into the Royal to bounce the Relic of Progenitus before you combo. That's a really common line in competitive of, you can't kill it with just like a generic kill spell. So my removal needs to be counter spells. It needs to be bounce spells that don't just target creatures, things like that. Or if I'm doing like a flicker deck, I'm only concerned about instants. So a dispel is way better in that type of deck. There are also like specific. If you're worried about commander damage, there's white enchantments where you can blink all the damage from a certain permanent. And it's a repeatable effect. I forgot what it's called. It's a 1-mana enchantment or something.
Yeah, and you pay 2 life and a white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then also pregame, when the game you've actually sat down, I'm going to spoil. I think the
Oh boy, you got notes.
Oh, I've got so much notes.
So lay it on us.
I thought about this a long time, and I think my decision-making process is really easy. The first thing I remove is if there's an obstacle to immediately winning the game, remove it and immediately win the game.
Makes
I think
sense.
everyone's going to do that.
Makes sense.
The thing that's important with that is people get in the way are like, well, I got to remove this to win the game. Like, I have 3 threes, and this guy's a 4/4 blocker. I can't lose a creature every turn. I must remove this threat now. That's not you're not immediately winning the game. It's not immediately a threat to you. Like, maybe if you killed it and your other opponents get hit in more, that's like a rough decision.
Sure.
Sometimes it works.
So another way to maybe ask that is, if I remove this, I can win the game.
Yeah. And then to what Ginger was saying of immediate win potential, every removal spell you play, you want to play it at the last possible second. And that last possible second isn't necessarily when it's like killing you right now. It's right before they put a Whisper Silk Cloak on it is a great time. That's really obvious.
Yeah. Because that's sort of inevitability, or if you look at that and say, I don't have any other. If I don't do this now, I don't have any other ways to deal with the Whisper Silk. So now's my best chance.
It's going to matter also like what your removal is shaped like. Where like if I have 3 lightning bolts in my hand and your opponent is pumping their creature up to 4 toughness, well, I guess maybe I can do 2 bolts, but is that really worth it?
Right.
The next one is, I think, what early on in the game more important. It's snowball effects. Like engines, there's not that many engines in Pauper Commander, but if I don't remove this now, am I dealing with 4 cards down the road?
Yeah.
So you're saving resources there. But then after that, it would just be if I have to deal with an obstacle, and that's like not to immediately win the game, but like. That's going to depend on more of like, do I have redundant kill spells? Can I wait? So there's someone else looking at that guy. If I hold up mana on this turn, is the next turn I play, am I going to be holding it up again? Is this like just going to be a tax on myself because I can't pull the trigger on this removal spell? But with the thing that you want to kill being the thing that's going to kill you the most immediately, is it's just speed. And so when I go into a game, I always clock the player of, you've done nothing else, you're going to win the fastest. If everybody goldfishes, you're going to win. And that's immediately who I'm watching. But then whenever any permanent is played, it needs to be reassessed and you need to pivot as much as you can. Like, it's something that needs to be reassessed every time a change is made, which is constantly.
Yeah, I can't. We were just talking about this, where like in games that I play, I will offer advice to newer players, and one of the things that will happen is if we have a 10-turn game, and we assume that each one of our turns is like a segment of that round, that's 40 segments. That like your idea of what's going on needs to be updated. And if I'm sharing information during a game, I'm sharing maybe 3 times, so I'm sharing a minuscule amount of like the overall assessment. So one of the things that can be frustrating for a player that's still developing that skill is that if you're not assessing things for yourself turn by turn, and meaning individual player turn by turn, those who are doing that process are going to be way ahead of you. It doesn't matter when they share, because they might share at the crucial moment of like, oh, this Malcolm wins right now. You need to do something. They're sharing that bit of information because it's really crucial and you should be invested in it. So they're going to like tune in. But then the next 7 player turns in a row, they're going to have no updated idea of like, what's going on? What am I scared of? What should I be thinking about? And it could be that the player that just tried to help you is now in the advantageous position, but the last thing that you updated is, oh, he helped me. And like your perception hasn't updated with the board.
That is the most common mistake I've seen new players make is say, you all are arch enemy against me and you kill my guy. Almost always it's, I kill your guy, I'm going to attack in. But it should be, I kill your guy, now you're not the guy anymore.
Right.
But they've all been rah, 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 yeah, boys, let's get them.
The momentum is all. The momentum has been towards that person and player, but their big threat is gone. Then we should reassess, pause, and say, now who's the next? It's possible it's still that person.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
But not always. And so you're saying the biggest mistake is sometimes maybe we get carried away and we don't reassess
Slow pivots.
as often as we should.
Dogpiling on someone after they've already been dealt with.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
right.
if you're the person who's like in the lead while he's getting dogpiled on, then you're like, yeah, let's dogpile on him.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Because now you're just slowly building resources, you're developing your plan,
Absolutely.
and you're getting a player out of the game. Like,
I'll encourage those people to make those mistakes.
yeah.
Because
Yep.
when they kill something, a lot of the time that leaves a power vacuum.
Do not trust your opponents.
Yeah, never trust your opponents. But like, as soon as there's a removal, a lot of the time that player, like, there's a power vacuum, and
Right.
it could be, oh, I killed that. Oh, we're all fine now. Oh, now I'm the threat, and you're all gonna hit me. Maybe you shouldn't have played your removal spell.
Yeah.
I mean,
Let them dogpile.
that's why you want to wait.
I want to go back. You said something that I want to dive in a little bit more. You were talking about when you sit down at a table, the goldfishing thing. You said if everyone was goldfishing, who would win for? And you evaluate that who will potentially become the first threat. Who's the fastest?
Speed is number one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Consistency
So-
number two.
Determining that, though, I want to talk about how you determine that. Is it
Right.
in the CPDH? You usually will know most of the decks you're playing against. You're familiar with them. You know this one can win this fast. This. But is it just that, or is it more like, let's say you sat down with decks that you weren't familiar with?
Let's
Are
say
you
some-
still
yeah.
able to do that? And if so, what are you thinking about when you do make those
So
decisions?
imagine, you sit down at a casual table, you're just playing whatever. Like I look around the table. I don't know all these decks in and out. What are you looking at?
In a competitive game, I mean, God Hand, who is the fastest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
you
Count how
know
many
what's in the
decks can
deck.
Win turn two.
Yeah.
Those are number ones. And then if they can all win turn two, then you look at who can do it the most consistently.
And that's just through studying the meta, playing many different kinds of decks, knowing those interactions, knowing those
Trying to build
those
the
things.
combos
Yeah.
yourself.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, the best thing you can do, so like I'm very proxy friendly because we print out so many meta decks so that we can play against them. So the people that I play with when we're playing more privately, we kind of have like our own group outside of the community I was just talking about because we are focused on different ideas. We'll print out meta decks and we'll play against the best things in the meta, but we also get to pilot the best things in the meta.
Yeah.
The best way to understand your combo lines is to start piloting them. Because then you have to actually think about how the dots connect. And when you're only on the outside, you don't see all the connections. You just see like kind of the biggest things. You know, we had a conversation today, Golem Foundry being an important potential combo piece for Sphinx Summoner. I didn't know that. I haven't played Sphinx Summoner. Like these are things that you only know and learn as you.
And the math is really unintuitive.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so incremental.
Okay, so I like hearing that. Makes total sense, and I agree 100%. So to take it down a level, though, to new players maybe just getting into Magic in general, new players to the game, but also new to Pauper Commander, where when I started playing, I don't know these cards.
Yeah.
I never paid attention to commons. I've had to be learning all these new cards. So when I sat down, or when new players sit down, I think it's important to know if you're a burn deck, you need to assess which of these potentially has life gain, and maybe there's certain resources you need to save. Then instead of dealing damage to everyone, maybe target some life gain creatures. There's things that you can do to behave differently when there are different decks, even if you don't know everything. If you can tell that, this is a person starting to gain life, I'm going to struggle to kill this person. I can deal with the other two, so maybe I start dealing with some of the life gain instead, because I can't do that all.
That's my level 4 threat. That a life gain or a lifelink creature for a burn deck is an obstacle. So you want to deal with what's going to kill you first.
Break it down.
We need to
Number one.
Yes.
interact with the manual.
Priorities of threats.
What's going to kill you first? Things preventing you from immediately winning. Swap those two orders. Snowball effects, and then the obstacles.
Okay, and I agree when you start playing and when people start playing the cards, but I'm still trying to talk about before the game starts. get in.
Oh, you're
think
seeing-
about those things before it starts.
You see a commander that gains life.
Yes, like I need to know or plan on if that is starting to. I need to act differently than I would if that deck was not here. There will be decisions I make that are different at some point in the game.
It's a lot more
potentially.
rare, though.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get a little more specific, Robert, with your priority list, right? So number
Yeah.
one was
Speed. Or, well,
Sorry,
I mean,
sorry,
as far
yeah.
as removing things,
well.
Oh.
What was it was stuff that's going to kill me, or
so
stuff?
winning immediately, them winning immediately, snowball effects, and then obstacles.
Okay, number one, my biggest sort of thing that I need to deal with right now, threat, is if something's stopping me from winning immediately. What are some examples of that? Like
Simply, I have a 20-20 and they have a 1-1, and they are at 5.
okay.
So kill the 1-1 and win.
If I remove this, I win. So obviously, it could be a creature that can block your creature that has presenting lethal.
Not usually a concern early.
Yeah.
Right. What else? I'm trying to think of other examples that.
He mentioned one that's really good.
The
Like relic and a graveyard deck.
Okay, so I have my graveyard is very important. I could win.
I have an Archaeomancer in play. I have a Ghostly Flicker and a Peregrine Drake in my hand.
That relic can prevent me from winning. If I remove it, I can win. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. And their win potential of just like, I mean, that comes down to, I did want to say with pregame and looking at their speed and seeing who is the threat, if it's over a certain threshold, which like things like Malcolm definitely are, or Weavers, you do need to mulligan until you have a removal spell. You know,
because they're
just so fast,
Right.
and you don't have time to draw it.
Right.
So that's
Okay.
You can't. I mean, keeping a bigger hand is to do something more aggressive and like most of the time more aggressive and like I'm trying to win. There's just a lot of decks out there that you just can't be faster than. It's just a huge risk.
Yeah. I mean, like best case scenario, if you're a very heavy aggro deck, you can voice to the table, I don't have removal. Like I found a deck that I think is going to take care of this player within like four turns. And I think I can get them down to pretty low life or dead. Voicing that so that people know that you're relying on them to find those resources, like communicating your intents and like what you have and what you can do.
Yeah, your role at the table is really important with that.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Because like some decks, I mean, if you have 3 removal spells in your deck, don't mulligan for them.
Yeah.
You're not getting them.
Yeah.
So I when I started, I would again back to your list of like removing things that can kill you. So I see a whatever 2020, like oh my gosh, that could kill me. Is it actively trying to kill me? And I would see that and be like, oh my gosh, we got to deal with that before it even tries, right? And then we would remove it. But I think that's kind of what newer players do or tend to, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can recognize that.
Or I have a 5/5. I'm going to make it a 10/10, and they're like, I'm going to respond with a Doomblade. You could have Doombladed it after it attacked. Who cares?
And it may not even attacked you.
Yeah.
Might have been black
So-
too. So
So some examples of stuff that's number 2, stuff that's going to kill you, right? So in your mind, what are some examples of that? So obviously a big creature that presents lethal and it's attacking you.
Yeah, and it's in the process
Yeah,
of attacking
yeah.
you.
It's attempting to.
You don't have the life total. You don't have the life gain to like just take it because ideally you don't lose any resources if you just never block.
Yeah, right.
But at a certain point, you do have to make that decision to save yourself, and you want to play your removal at the last possible second. And asterisk, last possible second can sometimes be right before they untap.
Right.
Because when they untap, now you're
It's
never
Kutzel.
it's Kutzel, or
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
going to have 3 counter spells, and now
This is your best opportunity to
the
interact.
most vulnerable.
And sometimes that's right when it's attacking you. Like if it's attacked your opponents, great. Keep swinging. Wait till it attacks you. Wait till it's an active threat, not a potential threat.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
And
Yeah.
that does also start before the game of you don't want sorcery speed removal in your decks.
Yes.
Like aggro decks, like things that really want to attack can get away with it more often because they're usually not on the receiving end of the attack. Their role is to be more aggressive. They're aggro decks.
Right.
So they're attacking. So they want to remove blockers and they want to remove blockers, and they're happy with the mana discount that sorcery speed removal gives.
Sure.
Because it fits into their role.
And along those lines, responding to threats doesn't always have to be removal. We're talking a lot about removal, but in that example of like an aggro deck, I'm an aggro deck. My plan is to attack. My threats are the crackback, and my response to that is maybe a fog, right? Like that's my threat is I have no blockers because I'm being very active in aggro, and my response is I don't have to remove your stuff. I can play a fog, and then
so that's you snooze threats.
Yes. You answer them for temporarily. So number 3 was it engines?
Snowball effects. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Snowball effects.
So some examples. Let's talk about some examples. So if someone has sort of inevitable, let's say someone's ramping a lot, or let's say someone draws 5 cards on a turn. Where do you put that?
It's it's both cards and mana.
Yeah, Gretchen is both cards and mana.
So someone has a lot of cards, a lot of mana, a way to do all that. What are you thinking about? Because obviously that's not trying to kill you.
If they draw too many cards, then I won't be able to kill it later because they have 5 counter spells in hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're multiplying how effective your removal is.
Yeah.
So that's not as worrisome as a 20/20 creature attacking you, but it's also like, how do you prioritize? It's like, okay, they have a lot of potential value right now. That's going to be a problem very soon.
That I'd say is kind of context dependent.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've played a game with Gretchen where she was able to start getting triggers and drawing cards and was looking for an answer for a specific situation. And I saw enough of what had happened in the game, and I also knew that I had some counter spells in hand. So I thought, you know what, just go ahead and like run your engine.
Do it for now.
And I will keep up interaction for when it matters.
Yes.
But also, I'm not like Gretchen specifically, it's so rarely correct to kill a Gretchen outside of combat damage. So if someone decides to use it as a blocker, great. But it casts back, and like the way you win the game isn't by having Gretchen out. There's some combo decks that like you want Malcolm out to be able to get the Malcolm trigger, and you have things that are dependent on the commander. Gretchen has like, she's engaging in mana loops to get infinite mana, and then the commander comes out. This is not always true, but this is like a general trend.
Sure.
So it doesn't matter how much you kill her, she will come back, and she will still be available when she's needed. So like that, Gretchen I tend to prioritize much lower, and I'm going to throw everything I can and do everything I can at the table to be like, everyone throw your resources at Gretchen in terms of damage, because like if they're dead, they can't do anything.
So another way of thinking about that is like, does removing Gretchen shut down their engine? Maybe not, right?
No.
Yeah,
So-
what's the choke point?
Yes.
Yeah, and for Gretchen, it's untappers.
Yeah.
It's the untapped creatures. So
Right.
like those, like you want to have, if you have a moment where Gretchen has used all of her resources getting engine triggers activations, and they've got no mana, I will use that opportunity to take out their pinger, especially if it's like turn 4 or 5, because they have something, or they're going to be able to get something, because Gretchen's also a self-perpetuating engine. She keeps getting more mana, so you can keep doing more Gretchen things.
So I think the lesson here is, I like identify the choke point. What is giving them tons of cards? What's giving them tons of mana? I mean,
You also ask yourself, can I like stand to not, or
Right.
like, does this really matter? Like,
Yes.
say if they can, like, they have Cradle Clear Cutter and they're producing 12 mana a turn. If they don't have something to spend it on, you can't
Right.
ignore it.
right.
So who are their enemies?
Also,
if you have high life totals and someone's starting an engine, but you have a mutual enemy,
Right.
let them go for a little
Yep.
bit.
Yep.
And
Is it a
respond
problem
to
right now? Right, like an
For
immediate
me,
threat.
yeah.
Yep.
For me, yeah.
Is it an immediate threat, or can I let this go? Maybe they deal with
Is it going to turn into a threat?
The bigger threat on the table, and then I can worry about it.
Yeah.
Potentially.
And like lower life totals, sometimes it's fine. Just let them have their engine do their thing, especially if you have the capacity to end their life at instant speed.
Yeah.
Just let them go,
Yeah.
do their thing. And then only once their actions stop benefiting you, then be like, okay, you got to get out of here.
Yep. But that's not always clear. Well, if someone's drawing a lot of cards or has infinite mana, that doesn't automatically mean it's the biggest threat. It's something to be aware of, right? But until and it might not be known either, right? Because it's not a game of perfect information. But I think it should be something to be aware of, so to sort of track, right? If someone's drawing a lot of cards, someone has a ton of mana, it's like, okay, I got to pay attention to that. Doesn't mean I have to deal with it right now. Doesn't mean they are the biggest threat, but keep in the back of your mind. I don't know. How do you conceptualize these engines if they're not presenting a win at the moment? Or I don't know. How do you prioritize them?
That's study and experience.
Yeah.
Like how much is this worth? What is this going to turn into? How much can it compound?
Right. What's the potential? How do they win?
Yeah.
Potentially, right?
We were talking about Vol earlier, which is not an obvious. I've never seen Vol before talking to Tony Baloney and having him explain to me some of what the deck does and like seeing it. Before that, I never would have been like, oh, I got to be scared of this. I'd been like, that's a weird deck choice. Cool. And then moved on with my life and like not prioritized it. So just, a lot of it just comes to exposure. And one of the things that I like to do is trying to find those weird nooks where you're not going to know what's going on. I will try to intentionally bring new commanders to tournaments because you don't know what's going on. And a worst case scenario is someone assumes that it's a combo deck and then you get targeted earlier. But more often than not, they're like, well, I don't know what you're doing, but I definitely know he's about to win. And so it gives a bit of a strategic advantage to do things that your opponents aren't aware of.
And to the point of some of this takes a lot of experience, right? Like that's a great opportunity to learn. So we lose a lot. I think we've all lost a lot, except for Lobert.
I have.
We've all.
Just
you
kidding.
only win when it's important because you've lost a lot
Right.
outside of that.
I also lose when it's important.
So preach. But I think that's part of getting better. Is we lose and then we learn and we say, hey, what should I have done? Like, one of the things I like to talk about is focusing on decisions, not results. So don't be so upset that you lost necessarily. Don't evaluate, oh man, I freaking lost. I'm an idiot. But did I make all the right decisions? Maybe not. What decisions could I have made differently? And sometimes it's like I played literally the best I could have. They just had the card that killed me. And that's fine because you made the correct decisions with the information that you had. But if you go back and evaluate and said, oh man, that was a bigger threat than I realized. Oh man, they were drawing a ton of cards and they had these pieces and I missed the threat, right? Like I should have made a different decision based on the board state or known information, and that's how you get better, right? And that's when like the experience and the knowledge comes in, is evaluating after the game.
I do think in a more casual setting where there's not necessarily infinite combos, the value of constantly recurring things, drawing a lot of cards, is enough to deem somebody as a threat. Whether or not they have a combo to win it, they're going to generate more value than the rest of the table and have a better probability of winning, which is the whole point. So like an example is we were playing with adventure commanders. And I was clearly the bigger threat because I had tramplers, I had big creature tramplers, I had drawn some cards. Mm-hmm. But to me, you were the bigger threat because you kept looping all these things that drew you cards, put them from your graveyard into your hand, drew you more cards. I didn't know necessarily what you could do, but I wasn't really worried about the rest of the table. So when someone asked, who's the threat? For me, it was you, and I said it.
Yeah.
And you were like, I'm never a threat.
Well,
but just so I was for sure the biggest threat.
The threat.
Yes.
I was probably second.
Yeah,
sure, I'll accept that. I'll accept it.
But also like that, those decks they can generate so much value and last longer.
Yeah, you had. I think you were the more immediate threat.
Absolutely, I was. Yes,
but I had sort of down Lobert's list. Like, oh, you had some sort of
and I knew that I needed to deal with that. Or if I let that keep going for too long, there's a chance I could fizzle out, and you would just be able to finish it off.
100%. I think that's a great way to assess if you are the threat. If you're sitting, if you are the threat, most obvious on the board. Hey, who's next?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I think card
great
draw is
example of that.
Card draw is huge in Pauper Commander.
I'd like to make a point.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the German combo meta?
Whoa, tell me. No, I haven't.
You haven't?
No. What are we referring to?
This is history.
Which-
So they were actually. I don't know all the details. It was before I started playing.
Is this a Pauper Commander
It's
thing?
Pauper Commander
Okay.
thing. A lot of them were part of, or not a lot of them. I know at least some of them were part of the rules committee.
Okay. I think
and-
Scarecrow did tell me a little bit about this. I
Yeah,
don't remember it though.
And it was basically these people in Germany, from what I've been told. This is all secondhand. I'm going to qualify that 1,000 times. I'm really sorry if I get anything wrong. I respect the shit out of these guys. So what they sat down and were like, let's honestly try to figure out what is the best way to play Pauper Commander. How do I win? Like very, very competitive mindset.
Solve the 4-man.
And it's called the combo meta because all of them thought combo was the answer. And part of that was, I think, their threat assessment. They were so, I believe, so stuck in the don't deal with something until the very last second, and that the meta became everyone gets these incredibly strong value engines and they just sit in play. That was like a Tatiova just uncontested sitting there. Or is it Guild Mage? Just this kind of pantheon of like very strong commanders that you don't see very much anymore because I think that there was this shift from everybody's waiting until the very last second. And if you were the guy in that social circle who started dealing with value pieces, by the time the actual threat comes around, you don't have it.
You're out.
Yeah.
So it's like a cultural thing that has happened, and I think we need to make sure it doesn't happen again, of dealing with these value engines before they can compound to the point where that person literally just counterspells every single person, all trying to stop them at the table because they compounded way more than everyone else.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So maybe you do have to move up the value engines if they're not, even if they're not presenting an immediate threat.
They're third on my list,
Right.
but those two first things are
immediate.
winning
Are
immediately, losing
And those are very
immediately.
obvious
Yeah.
and don't happen every turn.
So
right?
even though it's third,
Yeah.
it's usually what I'm spending my removal
Yeah.
on.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. What was your next
Number 4?
Obstacles?
Obstacles.
obstacles to
Like blockers, life gainers, or graveyard hate.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
graveyard hate when they're not immediately in front of your
Obstacles to
potential.
your plan.
obstacles
yeah.
to the plan,
Yes.
not to the immediate win.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that you
I like
can
it.
set up your own number 3
Yes.
to start going.
Yep. I like that. Okay.
There is also, I think, this like sometimes this is a soul read. You can tell like, oh, someone's attacking you. Like someone attacks me with a flyer. Okay, well, I'll take it. 2 attacks with a flyer. Okay, well, now this is specifically the creature that attacks me every turn. That can make it a lot more of like it's the damage or the snowballing it's doing. The advantage that it's accumulating every turn is that incremental damage, and that could be worth a lot more. I mean, it's a very difficult subject because it's a pull between I don't want them to compound any value and I need to wait until the very last second with everything.
Because if you're at 30 health and it's 3 damage, it doesn't matter. If you're at 6 health and it's 3 damage, it matters.
Yeah. But like, I mean, with that Avatar game we played, I used to cut short on your like your land or something.
Yeah, on your
Yeah.
5/5 land.
For
super
6 damage.
early.
Yep.
And that was just, I think he's too far ahead. I think he clocks me as a threat.
Yeah.
This is coming at
No.
me every turn.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was going to ask. That was a perfect example because I was going to ask about that in that situation. So yeah, you were thinking this is just a way to slow him down. He's obviously attacking me. So yeah, why then? Why did you use it then instead of?
I was really
Wait.
not confident in that particular decision because but I just didn't. I didn't think that I had any other solutions coming, and
Gotcha.
that it was going to keep compounding and being a problem. And there was
Yes.
this other pinger deck just doing a
Yeah.
crap ton of damage
For one turn.
Yes.
So the winning immediately in the clock I was calculating in virtual damage,
Yes.
like number
Yes,
of cards
yeah.
in his hand.
And that's
Totally.
exactly what that's why it was exactly the right move. That is exactly why I attacked you, because you were ahead in life of me. My goal was I needed to get you below me because of the other pinger decks. And I had some ways to start snowballing my land stuff. And so you shut that off. And yeah, I was toast. After
Because
that.
if you didn't-
that was a huge decision. And I 100% agreed with it when it happened. I'm like, yeah, that was smart.
Yeah.
That was absolutely what I
Because
should
it was
have
probably
done.
coming at you next turn, and so it's like, man, I could take 6 now.
I wasn't
That was
happy
also-
about it, but I agreed with it.
That was an interesting dynamic because you two had a problem and you just were like, not my problem. You know, I'm going to keep gaining life and I'm just going to keep doing it. And
Yes.
so you were trying to say, well, no, actually get on board with this problem.
Yes, because I maybe could have dealt with one of you guys,
Yeah.
but then I couldn't have handled that. So my mindset was keep him with me so that this is more symmetrical.
Yeah.
And then maybe I can figure something out.
Yeah.
But he shut
You
that
will
down
be my
immediately.
ally.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
have any other removal in your hand?
I had Jet in the command zone, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, that's another way to say, well, if I really need to, I've got Jet as a backup, and you. I think you drew into Thraben Charm.
I
or-
did.
But you didn't have that in hand because that would change. That would change it as well, right? Like, oh, I have another removal spell. I can afford
Yeah.
to cut out right now.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest threat versus
It was,
like,
and it
if
was
someone-
going to get worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
One thing about like planning the game, one thing that I generally don't like to see, and I'll advocate for it here, is this isn't always true with pingers. There's a little bit of an exception, but I do not like to run redundancy of what my commander's already doing. So, Raccoon deck, Wandertail Mentor, there's no 2 mana dorks in the deck because the commander fills that role.
it's always there.
Yeah. I remember I was talking about Hellkite, Furnace Hellkite just recently. It has its own discounts, so it can get removed. It's not protection, but it's really cheap to bring back. It's 2 mana. It has its own form of evasion in flying, and it has fire breathing. So there's no spell in the deck that buffs it purely. Like if it buffs and draws a card, then I might put it in because it has that other thing attached. But there's no pure buff spells. There's almost no evasion. And there's not a lot that I'm doing to try and protect it because just by playing the game, getting more artifacts out, it's constantly just paying 2 to get my commander back. So like from looking at that particular commander, I can say, okay, here's 3 categories of cards I do not need. And I can start to refine what my focus of the deck is based on that understanding. And so like this isn't going to be true for every deck because it just depends on what you're trying to do. Yeah. But most decks don't need more cards that do what their commander's already doing because your commander's already doing it and like build into ways. So if you have flicker capacity and your commander's doing something, run the flicker cards because they can also flicker your draw spells. Or your draw creatures or other creatures that have other effects and they have a lot of flexibility. I try very strongly to avoid putting cards in my deck that do the same thing that's happening in the command zone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think this is really important for again, it gives you shape to what your plan is because if you're not with Hellkite, if I know that I'm not trying to run protection and evasion, then what am I trying to do? What are the cards that are most effective in the color red? What are the most effective things that I can do with artifacts because it's an artifacts heavy deck? Like these are the types of things I'm going to start asking, and that's going to strongly define my plan through the game. And you have to be able, because if you run a commander that, I'm trying to think of a good example.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. So I agree with like your mentor deck, like, but there's not. In what I'm thinking is there's not your commander. There's not a lot of commons that do what uncommons do, like as well as they do it. So like what I don't know what I'm trying to think of the decks that I've made. There's nothing that I think I would. My earthbending one, there's nothing that does anything like that. I have other cards that earthbend, but that's progressing what my commander already does.
Yeah.
That's not a redundant piece.
Yeah.
Hey, bye. Maybe like what would be something that I shouldn't include? I'm not thinking of things to not include there.
I mean, I'll give a specific example. So I was playing long shot. I have, I think, only 2 other pingers in the deck.
Okay.
And I have them because they have a 3-butt, which means they're effective blockers. But I'm not going to chalk because I've played versions of pingers decks where I try to have a ton of pingers. But if my commander has an ability to ping, I am not going to build in. I'll put only like the 2 or 3 absolute best. I'm not going to try and jam them all because it's a little bit too repetitive,
You
and
can
I
use
find
it for
that
other things.
Yeah, and I
Right,
can use those
yeah.
card slots for other cards and hopefully more flexible cards. So again, that I can very much adjust to what the circumstance is.
Well, that plays into like how compact your win condition is.
Yeah.
Of, like, what was it earlier? I was thinking about one earlier, maybe the swamp keeper.
Oh, foggy swamp bottoms.
But like,
That's right. Yep.
if you can win the game just off of the one slot and then leave the rest of your deck for just like rituals and removal and stuff, like that's what I was doing with Sunhome Guild Mage.
Yeah.
Of that deck is 30 something removal spells, mana rocks, and then like
That's so many.
less than 10 creatures because
All you need is the commander.
the commander makes tokens and it also it can anthem.
Yeah.
So I need to get to like 9 mana. I'm making 2 tokens a turn, and then I can anthem all of them 3 times. And most people die to, 5 4/1s will kill like a lot of people. And that's like a floor. It gets worse than that. But then the whole rest of the deck, I've been told like, oh man, maybe you need to run some pingers, and I'll put in the 3 toughness ones because I'm like, yeah, a couple of them would be good. But then it just takes out space for like, I just want more removal so I can be more loose with my threat assessment. I know more is coming, and I can line my removal up more specifically with each threat of like, my lightning bolt's going at my lightning bolt target and my exile spell's going at the huge thing.
Yeah.
Wow. Deck building. We did a second episode in this episode about deck building, which was
It's hard to talk about.
that was very
it.
worthwhile.
No, it's definitely part of it.
No, I think that was fantastic. I just was listening, so thank you so much. Okay. Do you have other?
Is that the end of your list?
Is that the end of your list?
Robert?
How many?
We had
4?
4 was.
This is pretty much 4.
Okay.
Okay.
That was good.
Do you have something?
No.
Okay. I wanted to talk about a quick example that Robert and I were involved in.
You're in trouble.
I think I just
No.
I want to bring it up because there's a couple lessons to learn about threat assessment. We were playing in a tournament. There was a pinger deck, and Robert was playing. Was it the
Mono white. It was mono white.
It was a
Raven Watcher?
Was
Raven
it
Watcher.
Was it vigilance or flying or?
Raven Watcher is 2 white for a 2/2 angel that gives my other creatures +1/+1 in vigilance.
It was that one.
It was vigilance.
Yep.
Okay, so
The other deck was Glaring Fleshraker.
Glaring Fleshraker pinger deck, and I'm on big
janky
dumb slimes against humanity, and the other player was knocked out. I don't remember how they were knocked out. Anyways, I don't remember the specific life totals or whatnot, but in my seat, I had a decision. I think I could have taken out either of you potentially, or maybe attacked Lobert and he would have to block.
Yeah.
Or I could take out the pinger. And Lobert's board was big and presented a big threat. And
A lethal threat.
A lethal threat, in fact. But I had information in my hand. So on the board, it looked like Lobert is the threat, right? Or me, maybe with the slimes.
It depends on which seat you're sitting in.
Yes. From my seat, on board, it looked like Lobert was the threat.
And from the Fleshraker seat as well.
That Lobert was?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I chose to attack the Fleshraker deck. And there was some confusion. But Lobert is very astute. And here's the lesson. If someone does something weird, ask yourself, like, why would they do this? Like, why would this make sense? Either they're a bad player, which is true for me.
Is Sometimes
It's
the
safer
reason.
not to assume.
Yes,
that.
don't
Yes.
assume that, but it could be the answer.
It could be the answer.
Be
and
wrong.
It's weird. But assume they have a good reason to do this. And so I think Lobert knew that, and he said, why would someone do this?
The Glaring Fleshraker said this, was getting kind of, why are you doing this?
But Lobert probably asked that to himself too. Like,
Oh,
why would
yeah.
someone make this
Yeah,
decision?
sure.
Oh, this decision will only make sense if they had a fog or
Yeah.
something in hand, right? And so I attacked the Fleshraker because in my estimate, that was what was going to kill me because I have the fog, right? So I can prevent combat damage, but I can't prevent ping damage.
Yep.
And so I killed the Fleshraker. Lobert goes to his turn. He's like, I'm pretty sure you
Yeah.
have a fog, but we got to find out. And so he attacked me, and I fogged, and then I think I attacked you, and
You won.
yeah. What was your perspective?
Was it that?
Was it that?
I don't remember.
I think, but
It wasn't
I think
as important to him as it was to
no,
us.
I think the lesson.
I remember you winning that game with a counterspell. I don't remember
You
on
did
what,
have a counterspell after,
but there
too,
was like
but you
a
had the fog
pivotal
first.
counterspell that game. I don't remember what it was.
But I mean, as far as the lesson to learn, like when I attacked, what are you asking? When I attacked the Fleshraker, what are you asking yourself, or are you reading into that?
So what? That's something I actually learned from being a caster.
Oh, okay.
So when I very first started casting Legacy at Paragon City Games forever ago, I don't even know if they're in business anymore.
They are, I think.
They
just
are?
moved, yeah.
We would analyze everyone's decisions and be like,
yeah.
And we said one time, I don't know if that was right. And we got the feedback from the management of, hey, guy didn't feel great about you saying that you didn't feel like their play was right. And I remember looking back and being like, well, they lost because of it, and it was genuinely bad. But I've started watching coverage through that lens of like, how is the person playing the deck going to feel about this? And I started trying to like empathize more and like it just over and over it came out like, oh, if I just tried to figure out why they would make this decision,
Right.
that's free information
Right.
that you can just pick up on.
Right.
It's just there of like, why would he attack this other guy when he's just dead to Lobert?
Right. Right. And so again, assuming that they know what they're doing.
And I had distributed threats. It's not a removal spell. You can start figuring stuff out.
Right.
that way.
Right. So then the read is, oh, they have a fog. And if you can do something about it, if you can plan for that, if you can plan whatever, then that's great. Other times it's like, well, and then of course you have to play to your outs. That's why you attack, right? You still attack, you play to your outs, and make them have it. And anyways, I think that was just a great lesson, great pickup by Lobert. And from my perspective, it was like, combat damage can't kill me right now, but the pinger can. That's the threat. Versus any outsider might be like, well, duh, Lobert has lethal on board, whatever. So anyways, that was one example that I wanted to share that I thought there was some good lessons there. Any other examples? Or if there's not, what's one piece of advice you would give to newer players that are trying to get better?
I don't have any examples, but advice, I love the advice that Ginger gave about what he does with new players. Practice, but also try to find people who are kind, knowledgeable, and want to help as well.
Like us.
And they'll, ask questions. Be curious. There's hopefully some safe places where you feel comfortable asking questions, talking to people. There's so many great people in this space. PDH Homebase, PDH Pod Discord is fantastic with all of them over there. There's just some our Discord. There's some
YouTube
incredible
comments.
people. Yeah. So I just
Very
say
safe place. YouTube.
practice, make mistakes,
Yeah.
try things, and you'll learn from them and have fun with it. Like
Yeah.
Ginger said, that is the most important part. If you're not having fun and you're becoming a miserable old miser, maybe go do something else for a little bit.
Yeah, go take a walk. Go be a ninja.
Yeah, if
Take
it's
a
getting
break.
too bad, So But yes.
I've been. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna one thing that I hadn't said earlier, and I was just gonna add it on is if you're with a community and you can borrow someone's deck who's doing well, borrow their deck. They're doing something that's making them successful, and part of it is card selection. Borrow their decks and see how it feels, because after you pilot a really effective, very synergistic deck, you'll go back to a deck that might be clunkier and you'll say, this doesn't feel right. You can feel it as you're playing, that it clanks in different ways. Play better decks, and not just, I don't recommend just net decking, but I think net decking for a sense to get this is the type of synergy that is possible.
At least look at them, maybe.
Or look at them.
You don't have to
The
copy
goldfish
paste
on
them.
Moxfield or whatever.
Yeah.
I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No, I interrupted you. So I've been playing StarCraft a lot.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love
One or two.
StarCraft.
I've been playing StarCraft 2 custom games a lot. And I'm playing this one particular one just over and over and over. And I've actually it's a horribly toxic community. Probably the worst I've ever encountered in my life. Other than you guys.
Yeah.
So,
That makes sense.
Zing.
but the reason that I bring it up is that those toxic people, a lot of the time, I will go back and watch the replays on that. And they'll be telling me I'm bad. Oh, you suck. Why did you do this? You lost us this game. This happened. The people who are the most upset and the most opinionated suck. There's, that curve of I know nothing. I have very high confidence. I know some things. I have no confidence. And then I know a lot. I have confidence again. I guess my point is think for yourself and have reasons for doing things. Don't just trust and then not understand why something didn't work out.
Yeah.
I have recorded a lot of my Magic games and looked back of was this a moment? What was the board state when I made this decision? And I guess the last thing I'd leave new players is the more I've learned, the more reserved I've been with removal. And that play earlier that we talked about where I killed Bernie's thing, I've been thinking about that, and I keep coming back to it's probably wrong. Honestly, I probably wanted to keep my removal spells until the last possible second. And early on when I started streaming, I had this concept, I haven't thought about it in a while, of taking your licks, of just get hit, get wrecked, get set back, and make it look like you're not a threat and wait. Because then everyone else will take aggro and you'll just be building up.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I showed mountain after mountain on my draw, and I did nothing. And
He's
I
the
just
one that
got
did it.
smacked in the face.
That is what happened to you. We
Yeah.
left you alone long enough.
Yeah, it took bloody 3 or 4 turns, but eventually I was like, all right, well, I've got enough. I've got one draw spell, and that got me another draw. And
Socially,
off
it
to the
feels
races.
bad to kick someone while they're down, but
Yeah.
it's probably the right thing, and I'm going to do it next time.
you better.
I agree. It was the right thing to shut me down, but it wasn't necessarily maybe the right thing for you to do the possum.
But it was
trick.
good to slow you down.
Yeah, I was done.
The math
was
on that
done.
was really, I just didn't think you would give me time to do it. I think you had too much reach and you would punish me for doing
Couldn't
it.
afford
Yeah.
to take the 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I could, I don't know. If I could have, I should have. I don't know if I should.
Yeah.
Maybe it would have avoided more damage down the road, and then I would have also had a kill
That's
spell.
absolutely probably true too. Miles, finished. So give us the golden nugget. You've
'Kay.
been sitting on.
You know what, folks? It's all about having fun, and it's all about magic. The gathering.
Winning!
Win more. Okay. We'll be right back with 20 common questions. Woo! All right, folks. We got the experts here with
thank
to guess
goodness.
the card.
And this is any common card?
Any common?
Any common card.
I got the last one.
You did.
It was Fleet Feather Samples.
Yep.
'Kay.
Yep.
All right.
Good one.
All right. Can anyone see my screen? Don't
No,
look.
I
cannot.
Look at my glasses. Okay, ask away, folks.
Any permanent?
You
I'll
have
go
it.
first.
Okay.
I'll get the easy one out. Of
Is
the
it
way.
any permanent?
Is it a permanent?
Oh, okay.
It is a permanent.
Good.
That's one.
Take it away.
Is it CMC 0?
No.
0.
1? Lands.
Oh, okay.
No.
So not 1, 2.
We do. Whoa.
You used up all of our questions. You could have done an above or over.
Yes.
Yeah. I've been curious.
We're going back. We're both going back to 0. I'm fine with 0 being
I
bland.
answered them.
That's the game.
I used them.
I answered them.
No, you
Yeah,
did?
it's
not
did.
zero.
I thought you just got your eyes big when
Well, I
you started
stopped
going.
when he asked 3 in a row.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
Where did we stop?
Yeah, so it was no
It's
to...
not-
It's not 0.
Is
It's
it
not
0?
1.
No. Is it 1? No.
Yeah.
Okay, 0 and 1 is all we got. Good. Okay.
And it's permanent.
Go ahead, Lobert.
What if
Is it a creature?
Yes.
Ah, good.
Now maybe we go around.
Is it
I guess this way.
blue? What?
What's that?
It's
Maybe
okay.
we go around.
No,
and
no,
then you started
this
answering.
way,
I was
it's
like,
this
Wait,
way.
I asked the
this
first.
way, huh?
Yeah, it's this way. It's
Yeah,
this
that's why I
way.
said this
Doesn't
way.
matter. Whoever has a
No,
good
it matters. We're playing a
Oh.
game.
Did you
Okay.
ask if is it
I'm
blue?
assessing the threat here, and you are my threat.
I'll let you guys figure
You're trying
it
to
out.
get us to 20 as fast as you can. That is. Is it blue, green, or red?
Yes.
So we've got
Shoot. Should have asked multicolored because this isn't going to help necessarily.
And it can only be yes or no questions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, from here, there's multicolor, and then there's 3 of those colors. If I ask if it is one of those colors, then
I feel like it's enough information, right?
that was what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
And it was blue, green, or red. Is
Blue,
the-
green, red.
I'll
were the 3 I
ask.
went with.
Does it have any keywords?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it blue?
No.
Okay. So we know green or red. Is it multicolored?
No.
Okay. I guess there's so
I'll go
few
back.
that
I
are
was going to say, I think that's a
multicolored.
bad question.
That is. There's like not many at all.
So it's green or red and not multicolor.
Yeah.
And above 2 mana?
Yeah, 2 or more.
It's 2 or more.
2 or more. We only got know that it's not
Okay,
one.
okay.
Should we do like above and below?
I want to know if
5?
it's green or
Yeah,
red
let's get
first.
green or red.
Okay.
Is it red?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
So
nine.
red, 2 or more, and has a keyword.
Yep.
Creature.
And it's a creature. Thank you.
And I want to know if I would like to ask next if it's above or below something. Like, is it
Like 5.
is it 4 or below? Is what my question.
Okay.
would
4
be.
or below.
Yeah.
Is that? Are you officially
Yeah. Is it
submitting
4
that
or
question?
below? Question mark.
Yes, it is
Okay.
4 or below.
Okay. So small boy.
2, 3, or 4.
With a keyword, and it's a creature.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those. Is the thing. I'm interested in narrowing down the mana more.
Yeah. Get that. Let's get that figured out.
Okay.
Is it 3?
No.
No, it's 2 or 4.
Yep. Is it 2?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh dear.
Hold on.
Oh dear.
I want a
dear, dear.
refund.
Did you ask if it? What was your last question?
Is it
4
3?
or less,
And then is it 3?
and then is it 3? So now we know it's either 2 or 4 because we know it's already not 0 or 1.
Okay.
Is
Continue.
Is it 2?
No.
So it's 4 mana red
Creature.
Creature.
With a keyword.
with a keyword.
Okay. Take it away.
4 mana red creature with a keyword.
Gutter Snipe doesn't have a keyword, right?
And it's it does not, and it's 3.
Oh, it's 3. That's right. I don't know any 4
Well, I
mana
mean, like
red
I'm
creatures.
thinking of the defender that gives you the initiative, and it has blood defender.
I bet that's it. Stirring Bard is what that's called.
The stirring bard.
That's
There's also like
It's 4 mana.
It is 4 mana,
Defender.
and it's red. And it's got a keyword. I'm just thinking of like possible options. This isn't like a bucket that I often think it's.
Crimson Fleet Commodore. Has
Oh.
Monarch.
Isn't that
Well, that has
5?
trample. No, it's 4, and it has trample, and also gives you the monarch, so it has the keyword.
Oh boy.
The other thing is like these don't have to be good,
Yeah,
which is
no,
the
it
tough
could
part.
just be
Yeah.
a random
Oh,
menace
yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Does it? Okay, so we could ask if it has an ETB, or a triggered ability, or an activated ability.
Yeah, we could just say
Hold on.
ETB's triggered
Any
ability.
triggered.
Triggered
we
or
could
active.
ask, is it a French vanilla? And that is only things with keywords and no like descriptor text. or
Oh, if it's
whatever.
that,
Oh, good.
I'm not
So-
ever getting that.
Yeah, well, let's ask.
Is it a French vanilla?
No.
Okay, so it has text.
Does it have
Triggered
a
ability.
triggered ability?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
The monarch, the dragon taps to give something Menace and Haste, or am I thinking of two different cards?
No, you're right.
Yeah,
So it enters. So it also has an activated ability.
it has an activated, but it also has the triggered
Yeah.
ability of
Should we ask if it has activated as well?
So both of those cards, we have those two. I'm trying to think of what else is in the bucket of Force CMC creature keyword.
I don't know. I wouldn't have even come up with those two. I know them.
I'm amazed
but
that I came up with them, honestly.
I have no.
Should we
clue.
do we want to start guessing?
Let's see if because the Monarch one does not have an activated ability.
Correct.
That just has it. So if it's
Yeah.
no, we could.
Yeah, let's try that.
I think it's one of those two.
I have another question I want to ask.
Go ahead. What are we at
there's
here?
also
Is
Fanatic
14?
of... No, he's on
Oh,
top.
give me. Okay, is its toughness higher than its power?
Yes.
So the
So
dragon
it
is
could be dragon.
So that narrows it down. a
is
lot.
is the Monarch one?
No.
No,
that's a
that's a
5/2.
5/2.
5/2. Okay. I think it's Dragonborn.
Yes, sure, go
Dragon.
ahead.
Try.
Oh no! We get
We get
flavor
more
text.
questions. Okay.
You want flavor
That's
text?
15.
Oh, we get flavor text.
We only get one guess.
Yeah. Oh.
The name.
So we want to make 20 our guess.
Yeah.
Oh, we only have one guess.
Yes.
Well, if you guess the name of it wrong, you lose.
Yes.
I thought we could just name 20 cards.
Yeah.
That
No.
was 20 questions.
That is.
Is it Red Elemental Blast?
At the first sign of danger, she breaks out the power cords.
Commodore.
Wait, say it
The
again.
power chords.
Say it again.
At the first sign of danger, she breaks out the power cords.
That doesn't sound like.
So like this is Duskmorn. This is Spider-Man.
Wait, no. It is Stirring Bard.
Is it really?
I mean, 'cause
Oh, the
it's-
chords.
chords.
Oh my God.
Spell chords.
Wait.
Is it?
Spell chords.
Is it? Should we guess?
CHORDS
No,
or
I mean, Does it
CORDS?
have initiative? Is a better first
Oh,
question.
there you go.
Yeah.
Does it have the word initiative on it?
Yes.
Okay.
Shall we?
Yeah.
Does it have
that
a-
is the name of it, right? Stirring
Stirring
Bard
Bard,
is the name of the card.
Does it have an activated ability?
Yes.
Is it a dragon?
Yeah. Okay. I'm confident.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it Stirring Bard?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the chords threw me because I was not
Yeah, I
thinking
thought of electrical cords.
CHORDS.
She pulls out the cords. I was immediately thinking of like the TVs
Oh, I
from
was thinking
Duskmorn.
of guitar the whole time.
There you
You
go.
were on the right level. I heard the different kind of chords.
Stirring Bard, 3 in a red for an 0/4 Dragon Bard Defender. When it enters, take the initiative. Then it can tap to give creature menace and haste until end of turn.
I'm impressed that I thought of the bloody
That's awesome.
thing.
Very well
Good
done.
job.
Very well done.
Yeah.
And you
You
survive
need to
another
give somebody
day.
like lightning elemental one of
Oh,
those times.
jeez.
That, yeah. I
hard
thought
to
about
do.
going harder, but then I was like,
What was the
this will be
And
fine.
do you just click random until you hit a comment?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
I search for. Oh, my other one was. My first thought was adventuring gear.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, the 2
Landfall.
mana. Oh no, it's 1 mana. You get +2/+2 on landfall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Would you guys have gotten that one?
That would be easy.
Yeah, because I guess
Say it now. You say that it was easy now.
Yeah.
Actually, last time you got the
Free feather.
equipment.
You keep giving me one.
You
that
love
takes-
equipments. You love equipments.
Yeah. Haste enablers.
Okay. All right, folks. Thanks for hanging out.
Hell.
Bernie's gonna take us out.
We got Hal. He's trying to tell me something. Oh, all right. I'll do it. Thank you, supporters of our red pepper poppers. What's that? Oh, yes. Yes, read the supporters.
The supporters.
We got Teresa
Can I
and
read the
Tyler.
supporters?
Bill,
Yes.
aka Too
Where's the
Much
other one?
Do.
All right, where
Third.
Dosh and Dad,
Halloween 29. You
Lasgata.
want to read one?
Moo Tater Pie,
Ariel.
I don't know what's going on.
Feegis,
Mama Tutu.
Comp Drink,
Inked Poppy.
and Kidney Thief.
There we go.
There we go.
Thank
We
you
did it.
all. We did it.
You have no idea what
12
you have
hours.
no idea what we've been through today, guys. All right. Hey, stay spicy or whatever.
That's
Stay
what Hal was. That's it.
Whatever.
He was trying to say. Stay spicy.
Stay spicy.
Stay spicy, stay beautiful.